Hello friends, welcome to JavaFX GUI tutorial. Here we are starting a new subseries. In the previous subseries, we got hands-on on 2D graphics. Also, we know how to use JavaFX. Now we will use JavaFX to define GUI elements as nodes. Previously in the sense in the JavaFX 2D graphics, we used 2D shapes as the nodes. Now in this complete series, we will be using the UI controls as nodes, and we will present that nodes to the scene graph. Alright, now in this first subseries, we will learn about the label control provided by the JavaFX. So in this part 1, we will display a simple label on FlowPane. We will also learn what is a FlowPane going forward. So here are the prerequisites. So this is part of our JavaFX 2D playlist, and these 5 videos will introduce you to JavaFX. Even though it's for 2D, these first 4 videos are common for 2D, 3D as well as GUI. So now we are at the second playlist, JavaFX GUI. So when you watch these 5 videos, you will get a good idea of what is JavaFX, and it will help you to quickly jump into the GUI tutorial. So if you look at here, in this example, we will create an empty window. Empty window you already know as part of the prerequisite. So we will create an empty window, and the window is managed by FlowPane. So it's just like a Flow Layout Manager, which we already learned in AWT. The same way here, FlowPane is for JavaFX. So the subseries goes in 3 parts. First, we will display a label. So this will be the simple label. Then we will display a label along with an icon. So this is the image icon and displayed with the label. Then we will create our third label with font as well as color fill. Alright, now we will proceed with the example. So FlowPane is the one which will house other control. So we can say that it's a container. The container can hold other UI elements in it. So that's why first we create a FlowPane, and after that we make a call to set padding. And the padding we will give it insets with 15, 15, 15. There are 4 15 we are passing. Say for example, let's say we have a control, the window, that's the top level window, which is managed by a FlowPane. And when you create inserts, so this will define the distance from the edges of the container. So this is what called inserts 15, 15. Each inserts defines the edge. So when we go to the demo, that time we will see what this individual parameter denotes. So which one is left, which one is top, right, bottom, all those stuff we will see. Then there is a horizontal gap and vertical gap. So that's also we can set for a flow layout, I mean the flow pan. So for example, if we are adding a pack of controls like this, so distance between these two is called horizontal gap and this is called vertical gap. And so here we are setting that gap as 10 and 10 each. Alright, so once the flow pan is ready, we get the children just like how we did previously in the JavaFX 2D. We get children and we get observable list of a node. So Flowpane can house many controls, and each control is a node. So that's why once you get a children, you will be getting an observable list of type node. So we reference that as FPAN controls. So the children on FPAN, Flowpan, will give the collection, and we are naming it as FPAN controls. Now here Flowpan is ready, and we have children also ready on this particular call. FPAN.getChildren will give us the node collection. Next, if you see, as usual, we create a scene, and for that scene we pass FPAN. That means here this FPAN acts as a root node. If you see, here we are slowly establishing the scene graph. Previously we used the scene graph to display graphics 2D. Now we are using the same scene graph to represent UI control as the nodes. So we are creating a scene, and this time we are passing the flow pan to the scene, and this is the scene size, 900 width and 500 is the height. That means this defines the window size, and we can call it as a scene, and we are setting that scene to our primary stage. So we are writing this code inside the start method that receives the primary stage as a parameter. So we are getting this scene, we are creating the scene and we are giving it a flow pan. Then we are giving that scene to the stage. So now this is orphan, right? Now we will make use of this. If you see here, we are creating the label. This is not from AWT. This is from JavaFX. So we are creating the JavaFX UI label, and we are passing a string called sample label 1. So we call that as label 1. Then we are passing that to the FPAN control which we already created here. FPAN control means this is the flow pan, get children. For the children we are adding one child right now, and that one is the label. Label is the UI element, and node is added to the FPAN flow pan, and flow pan is given to the scene is given to the stage. So that's how we are establishing the relation here. And if you see, after doing all this stuff, we are setting the title for our primary stage. Primary stage we already set this scene. Now we are setting a title, coding example, YouTube, label. So that's the title we are giving. Then we are showing the primary stage. That means the window will be presented, and the window will have the label which we create here. Right? So this is the label, and that label is displayed in our stage. Since it's a flow pan, when you add control, the control will flow in this direction by default, and when there is no room, the control will automatically come to the next line, and likewise the controls will get added. Alright, now it's demo time. We will go to the demo. So previously we created some samples on FX 2D. Now we will name it as FX UI01 like that, and for example let's take the package name, so it's required. Let's have this in clipboard, later we will change it. Alright, now we will create a new project, file, new project, JavaFX application. Do not worry about FXML, all those stuff. We will see that later when we are going forward. So at present I'm creating JavaFX application, clicking next. Then project name, previously we named it as JavaFX 2D, right? Now we will name it as JavaFX GUI. So here I am giving path name as JavaFX. Inside that UI I created a folder, and we will create our project in this specific folder. That's all. Now we can click finish. So we will remove all the comment for a simplicity reason. And we will remove everything in the start method. Remove all unused imports. Save all, and if you see, this is what the plain simple empty template will be. So we have a main entry point. So from here we are making call to launch, and launch will land into start method. Start method is receiving the stage, and the stage parameter name here is a primary stage. So this is what we will use inside the code. So we will set relationship like to the primary stage we will assign a scene. To the scene we will submit the root node. From the root node we will add child nodes. All those stuff we will do now. Alright, there is one more stuff. Package name, we will change it as, so we'll go to refactor, rename. Instead of JavaFX 2D, this time I'm giving JavaFX UI and clicking on refactor. So, and we will rename our first Java file also. We will name it as or instead we can directly change here FX UI 01 empty window. Here we will give a name as label. And it will ask you to rename the file, and once I rename it, this is what we will get. Now we will just rebuild this. . So here if you see, build all is succeeded. So as we already saw in the PowerPoint slide, here we write our first piece of code, FlowPane. If you see, this is from JavaFX Scene Layout FlowPane. So this will manage all the UI nodes added to the scene graph. Alright, we have FlowPane. Next we have inserts. So here if you see, there are two inserts class. One is from AWT and one is from JavaFX geometry inserts. So we are picking the inserts from JavaFX geometry. And if you see the inserts, so the parameter, first one is the top. That means the border distance we already talked about, right? If let's see that with a notepad. So insert, the first parameter is top. We gave 15, right? That means if this is the stage, forget about the menu. From here it is 15. From left, first parameter is top, and next one is from right, it is 15. From bottom it is 15, and fourth parameter, sorry, first one is top, right, bottom, left. That means it's going in clockwise direction. That's how the parameters are given: top, right, bottom, left. Top 15, right 15, bottom 15, and left 15. So that's a gap we are giving. That means when you add a control, the control and distance between the edges of the FlowPane, that's defined by this insert. So if I go to MS Paint, let's say this is our stage, and inside the stage we will be defining the insert. And if we give insert like this, here it is 15, 15, everywhere we provided 15, so that defines the edge. And whenever you add control, the control added will go inside this, always giving a gap between top, left, right, bottom, and there is a edge. So you can simply call this as a margin, and that's what we defined using the inserts. After that, we defined horizontal and vertical gap. We talked about this in the PowerPoint slide. Then from this FPAN, we are retrieving the children and JavaFX collection observable list, so that will give us the node collection, importing it from JavaFX scene node. That's all. Now we have the FlowPane ready. So next, after creating the FlowPane, so here if you see, we create a scene, JavaFX scene. We define width and height. After that, we are setting scene to the primary stage, that is coming here as a parameter. Then we create our UI, JavaFX scene control, that's the package. Inside the control package, we will be having the UI control label, and we give a string, and that's what the text displayed in the label. And the label what we created, we are adding it to our FPAN control. We already got the children, right? Alright, now the stage is ready. If you see, primary stage, we are setting the scene, we are giving the FlowPane, and we defined size, all those stuff. And from the Flowpane we already retrieved the children, and to the children we added the label. So now we will set stage name. So to be in sync we should have added this here itself, but that's okay. Now we will do the rebuild, and like we did previously, we can simply right click and ask to run the file. Here if you see, this is what our stage, and in that stage we are displaying the first label control, and the label control is named as sample label 1. All right, that's all. Here we done with our first example. Thank you for watching. Bye.